Welcome back to Keep It Good. I'm your host, Carly. I am solo today, so bear with me. My girl Emily is on a fun field trip with her daughter's class, so we didn't want to skip a week. This might be very short, but I decided to run with it anyway. I am a little bit under the weather. You can probably hear from my voice too. So just give me some grace. We'll get through this. But I wanted to kind of dive in this week about investments. A couple weeks ago, I had a patient who unfortunately was on hospice and passed away with me that night. And out of all the patients that I have sat with and been with in their last final moments, not one of them has ever said, "Man, I wish I worked harder. I wish I saved more money." Never do they talk about money. Not once. And a lot of things that they talk about is the things that they regret, or they share stories with me about their life, their most proudest moments, things like that. And it got me kind of thinking about like what is the most important, part? What am I going to remember the most in my life? And why do we care so much about money when we can't take it with us? Sure, we can leave it when we pass on. So this one's all about the true investments that'll really pay off for a rich, fulfilled life. And it's about our love, our habits, our values, our time that we spent, the experiences we've had, the relationships we hold. At the end of the day, it's not what we have, it's what we built. And the stories we built is based on investments that we make every single day. The choices we make every single day add up to what we call our story of life. So every yes or no, consider a deposit for your future. What are you saying yes to? And what are you saying no to? It's okay to say no. And I think we need to say no a little bit more, because number one on my list for true investments for a happy life is yourself. You kind of have to be a little selfish. And it took me a long time to realize that, because I was always a people pleaser. I never wanted to hurt anybody's feelings, blah, blah, blah. But I was always hurting my own feelings because I never listened to my gut, my instinct on what I truly wanted to do and what I was just kind of saying yes to make everyone else feel at ease, right? And it didn't help me in any way. And it really, a lot of times it put me in a kind of a dark hole because, like I said, I just never put myself first. And maybe a part of it is getting older and you're thinking about things like that more, but yeah, in order to be a good mom and a good nurse, I got to be good. And so I started investing more in myself. I would say no. It didn't feel right. If it's not a hell yeah, it's a hell no now. And we started really looking into our diet, our routines, everything that just kind of nourishes you from the inside out. Because, past episodes, I've talked about mind clutter, journaling, grounding, supplements. I mean, everything is connected to your gut and your mind. And that's probably one of my favorite investments I've ever done, is actually look at myself and be like, no, girl, we got to make a switch. We are not headed in a good direction. But I think, the older you get, the easier it is to say no. So that's number one, invest in yourself. A 5-minute walk, switch up your routine. I mean, if you feel like you're in a slump and every day is the same thing and you're just like, oh my God, like another day to do this, just change something. Even the way you drive to work, the route you take, the breakfast you eat, the mug you drink your coffee out of. I mean, any little change that you can add into your routine will start to pay off. You'll see a big difference in how you feel and change the way you eat. What you feed yourself is really the fuel you need to get through the day. And what you eat today is going to pay off tomorrow. So just start investing in yourself. Talk to yourself kinder. Stop picking yourself apart. And this kind of rolls over into number 2 for me, is your circle, who you surround yourself with. I've mentioned that in the manifestation episode, but it really does make a big difference. Not always easy, but you have to you have to look at it as an investment. These are the people who are going to build me up. I don't want to be surrounded by anybody anymore that I can't fully trust or I don't feel deep down has my back. You want your friends to be the people who defend you in rooms you're not in, not the ones who talk about you. That's like the most heart-wrenching discovery is who has your back and who doesn't. And, your circle could dwindle down to just a few people, and that's fine because you need ones that pack a punch, that have a huge impact on your life. And my friends, I'm so grateful for them. I can sit with them and not feel judged and just explain everything that's going on. And they give you positive feedback, not always what you want to hear. They tell you what you need to hear, but with so much love. And I've come to the realization that it's okay to be misunderstood. I feel like I'm constantly being misunderstood because a lot of times I can't fully say my side of things. And quite frankly, I don't want to say my side of things anymore. I like kind of seeing who believes what when they hear something about me, or it just kind of like naturally filters out people who are for you and people who are not for you. And if you have a stressful job or you have stressful things going on in your life, when you go out and you make time to go out, you want to be with people who are just genuinely good for you. No drama. It's just wholeheartedly like they recharge your batteries in the best possible way so that you can face another week, especially being a nurse. I see a lot of sad things, and when I do go out, that's my time to really add a little bit to my cup. And my friends, they're heaven sent. I mean, I don't know what I would do without them. They're just amazing people. I know I can call and they got me and I got them fully. So just start kind of picking and choosing a little bit more carefully because it really does make a difference. And you just want to be around people who are fully invested in growth. Circle is everything: family, friends, support. You need a solid team behind you. Number 3 is experiences. We started investing in experiences because, um, how many times have you spent so much money on gifts and toys only for them to break, and they don't remember when or how or why they got it? I mean, yeah, gifts are great. Who doesn't love a gift? But if you could start investing more in an experience, and it doesn't have to be a lot of money. It could be anything. Just it's those memories as a family, as friends, whatever experiences add to lessons in life. And the only way to learn is to do. And one thing with experiences, you kind of have to leave expectation aside because I don't know how many times I had this huge expectation or a vision in my mind of what it was going to be like, right? And never does it happen that way. There's always tantrums, there's fighting, there's flat tires, there's missed flights, like whatever the case may be. But my husband actually said, like, during all those misfortunes in those experiences, those are the ones that you remember. And those are the ones that make the good stories. Remember that time when anything that could go wrong went wrong, but we'll always remember that trip because it was a disaster. But, it's how you make it. It's getting through it together and just laughing through the chaos because life isn't perfect and we can't have these super high expectations for anything to go perfectly correct. You just kind of have to roll with the punches and see where it leads you. But oftentimes it does lead you to a fun little adventure, and those are the moments you remember the most. So invest in some good experiences, seek discomfort. I mean, me coming on today, I don't feel the most comfortable right now, but you just kind of have to do something different, something outside the box, something that scares you to the core at least once or twice a day. And if not every day, then at least once a week. I mean, prove to yourself you did it. You showed up, and that's the most important part. Number 4 is silence. When was the last time you really just sat with yourself in silence? In this life, we are surrounded by chaos and noise. On to the next. packed schedules. So just kind of see what happens when you prioritize like 5 minutes even of just pure silence, no music, nothing. Even if you have to do it while you're driving in the car, I mean, that's when you kind of lose yourself in your thoughts and you see what is number one right now on your mind, on your conscience, on your heart, and just see where it leads you. It leads me sometimes to like the most incredible insights that I would have never had if I was just listening to like the Beatles or something on the radio. And when I just turn it off and I think, it just gives me so much clarity sometimes, makes sense of what's going on in my mind, or it helps kind of process what you just went through. When I leave work, sometimes it's really hard to make that transition from experiencing something really traumatic or sad and then having to come home and be in mommy mode and like, how was your day? Let's do dinner. Oh, we got to do math homework and all the things. So really taking those 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes of just silence and processing. And, it really does kind of help silence your mind and just digest. And it's easier for me to come home and like make that switch and be present with my kids. So give that to yourself. I mean, just see where it leads you. Number 5 for me is giving back. I mean, this one is probably the biggest return for an investment, is whenever you're just kind of stuck in your head and just kind of consumed with like your own life. Giving back is probably the number one thing I would recommend for just humbling yourself. And it kind of just makes you refocus. And like we said, that perspective in episode 1 was, you think you have it so bad, blah, blah, blah. It could always be worse. And when you donate your time or you invest in charities or something, you find stories that are so humbling. And you're like, wow, I really have a great group of people. I have a great family. I have a great job. You just start counting your blessings because you see what things could be. And also, I mean, when you donate your time or you invest or you do anything like that, it gives you the best feeling in the world. I don't know, it's just bigger than yourself. It's better than any drug or any orgasm. Like, it's just the best feeling in the world of feeling like you made a difference. You helped. The best times is when you don't broadcast it. You just hold that to yourself. And that's like, it's just, it's an incredible feeling. So if you're ever feeling stuck in yourself, get out of your head and start helping your community. And that is, I think, the biggest payback, and it gives the biggest return. Number 6, relationships. So yeah, I mean, I kind of said about your circle, right? But this one is investing that solid time to eat dinner as a family, or getting together with relatives and friends and making that time, because these are your people, your tribe, right? And just investing that time with your kids. This year we kind of slowed down a bit with the sports and all the things after school, because it was just a rat race and we never spent any time together, and it was always just in the car, zooming here, zooming here. But it's the moments when we sit down and eat dinner as a family and we have the discussions. And I always ask, what was your rose? What was your thorn today? It invites me into their world that I would have not really gotten the chance to sit down and talked about. And they would open up about things that, if we were running to this place, that place, the next, that conversation would have never came up. And that issue that they were dealing with might have never been brought to my attention. It might have, but maybe too late. And I just, it's one of my favorite times of the day. It's just sitting down, being together as a family, and being thankful for that. And I think in the long run, that's something my kids are going to always remember. I mean, this has been the most kind of relaxed school start yet, just because we're taking a minute to just be together and making every night count. There's nothing better than sitting home and helping your child with their math homework, as much as it sucks. Like when sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'm not a teacher and I don't have the patience for it, but those are the moments that they're going to remember it. So I kind of have to put myself in check and be like, okay, at one point I had to learn these things too. So I need to kind of just like go with the flow and help them out, but truly invest in relationships. Make Sunday dinner with your parents. Just try. I mean, not every week is going to be easy. There's always something coming up, right? But try your hardest. And then last I have is invest in learning. There's so much to learn, and I find that the people who always think they know it all are really the ones that need to learn the most. They always think they're right. They always, and it's just like, dude, no, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to just like, that's what life is. You're constantly learning. Every experience is a lesson. Everything everything you go through in life is a lesson. But if you invest in some books and like I said, experiences, these are the points in life that teach you things that school cannot. There's so many things that they teach you in nursing school, and then you become a nurse and you're like, wait, what? Like, they didn't teach us in nursing school, and it's through experience and it's through connection. I mean, they can't teach you empathy in school, right? But just kind of getting your feet in another person's shoes and seeing and listening. And it's hard sometimes because you're so busy to sit down and talk with these patients. But when you do, I mean, and when you're open to learning, wow, they really do. They can change your life in really deep, profound ways. And those are the moments that I cherish the most as a nurse, is those times that I did sit down and give a hand massage or a foot massage and just let them talk and be seen and be heard, and just they hold so much wisdom. Everyone you meet holds something that you need to learn at that specific time, or whatever the case may be. And if not, then I love my books. I don't know. I love books. They just bring you into a whole other world. If you can't travel, you read a book about Italy or something, and you're expelled into this whole other environment through your imagination. I think reading is one of the most important things in life, and it's an exercise. You exercise your mind, your imagination, everything. It doesn't have to always be novels or stories or romance or anything like that, but it could be, I learned a lot about my son through books on ADHD and autism, and I constantly am picking up a new one. Even just the power of now and being present, and my all-time favorite book, The Secret, that changed my life at 17. So there's so much at our fingertips that we kind of just pass by now because everyone's so addicted to social media and filling your time with just this garbage scrolling. What is that teaching you in life and nourishing your soul? How is that helping you in any way? If you're addicted to scrolling, stop. Pick up a book, and your body will be so thankful for it, because it just does so much. I mean, even if you're not a reader, there's audiobooks now. I mean, there's so many other ways to just get this constant knowledge, this flood of knowledge. I think learning is something that is a lifelong experience and a really high investment in your life. So I want you to kind of ask yourself, what am I investing in right now? Am I putting my energy into worry, or am I putting my energy into growing, being a better person than I was yesterday? At the end of the day, I mean, no one will ever ask you how much you earned, right? No one gives a shit about your bank account. They'll remember how much you gave, and they will remember how much you grew and how much you loved. So I think we should start investing accordingly, and our future self won't have any regrets. And it just makes you realize, like, you don't need to be rich to invest wisely. You just have to be intentional. Really give back to yourself, to your friends, to your loved ones. We got to stop chasing those quick wins and just start planting the slow seeds, because those are the ones that grow into the most amazing things in life that money could never buy. So prioritize your peace, your purpose, your love. Those are the things that matter most. Real wealth shows up in your peace of mind. If you're overworked, you're stressed, you're prioritizing the wrong things. So this week's quote I actually wrote. I have been getting into writing a lot, and writing to me is just very therapeutic. But this one is: the richest of all isn't the one with gold, it's the one with a story worth being told. So, your story is built by memories, experiences, lessons, and the impact that you leave on this world. Is it a good one? Is it worth sharing? This is how people will be reminded of you, and this is what you'll share if you are that woman holding my hand on our last final day. What kind of story are you investing in? So, I don't know. It's a little bit of a downer one this week, but hopefully, kind of makes you think about what's true and what's really important in life. And everything comes down to how you think about yourself, how you spend time, how you invest in your life in the right ways. So, as always, I hope you have a really great week and keep it good.